Hello, this is Andrew Wommack, and God is doing so many awesome things in my life, I just had to tell somebody. So I'm coming to you, our email list, with a real brief video here. I'm not going to be going into detail, but I just want to share briefly with you. You are the very first people to hear this. I'm making television programs on this, and we will be going into much more detail and showing you a lot of graphic things, but those don't air until the week of June the 8th. And I just had to get this out and start sharing with somebody. On November the 4th, 2014, the Lord woke me up at 3 in the morning and told me that the reason He had raised me up was to change people's opinion of Him. And then as their opinion changed, their life would change, and then they would change the world. And immediately I saw that this is what we're doing. We're making disciples. This is what Charis Bible College is all about. So this all concerns our Charis Bible College. There's so many things happening. I can't give you all of the details, but just in a nutshell, God spoke to me last year as we started considering building our second building, and I was having to decide whether I was going to wait and let our finances build up for a while, or whether I was going to go ahead and start construction in 2014. And the Lord just spoke to me that I was beginning to think small again. The need exists right now. We've already maxed out the building that we just built. I mean, that's amazing, but it's like I can't think big enough. God is just sending people. And He told me that I was beginning to limit Him. And so I went ahead and pulled the trigger. We've started construction, and we now have the walls up on our Phase 2 building, and it is amazing to see what God is beginning to do. But ever since He spoke that to me last summer, I've been thinking about it, and in November, December of 2014, the Lord just started speaking to me that it's far beyond just this second building, that God is doing something really miraculous here. And I wished I had the time to just share everything with you, but again, it's not about buildings, it's about people. We are seeing people's lives change. I was talking to a young girl today who last year, she had been deaf since she was a little girl in one ear, and she was perplexed. Why isn't this working? And I encouraged her for a moment, and I said, let's just trust God. And we prayed for not more than 10 or 15 seconds, and her hearing completely was restored. And I mean, here she is a year later. I was talking to her today, and she was just praising God. And as we were standing there in the hall of Charis Bible College talking about this, another woman came by and she said, yes, my marriage was totally restored. And another one said, yeah, I was healed too. And they just one after another started talking about how it's changed their life. You know, I don't have the words for this. I've gotten to where I just call it the Charis experience, because people's lives are being changed. And God is showing me that this is much greater than what I've seen. God has brought David Barton to me. We're starting a practical government section of our Bible college, and we have a state senator that is going to become a part of this and help raise up people to get into politics and make a difference. We've had 2 couples from overseas come that are going to start producing biblical musicals, arts, and entertainment. We are going to start affecting our culture in much more than just a Christian television program and just sending people into churches, but we are going out into the culture, and we're going to start affecting movies, musicals, music, all of these areas, the political process. We've already got the business school and all of these things, and God has just been showing me that this is huge. And in order to accommodate it, we're going to have to start building student housing. We're going to have an activity center, a place to feed them, to meet the needs of the students. God is showing me probably, I'm not going to say for sure, but we're probably going to have a performing arts part of this, and just so many other things. God is showing me it's much greater than what I thought. So I've been sitting on this for months, and now I'm ready to start sharing it with people. And we will go into much more detail on our web and also on these programs in June. But I wanted you to be the first to know. Also, one last thing, I just wanted to say that as I was praying about this, God, how do we finance all of this? And the Lord showed me that we have 3.2 billion people who can watch this program, my program, on a daily basis. Of course, not all of those watch, but if only 1%, 1 out of 100 people who had access to this ever watched it, that would be 32 million people. And if only 1 out of 10, so this means only 1/10 of 1% of the full potential that we have with our television program, if only 1/10 of 1% were actually touched by the Lord through this ministry, that would be more than enough to do anything that we need. That'd be 3.2 million people. And you know, if you just gave pocket change, you know, most people average around $1 a day in pocket change. You can't buy a bottle of water for that or a cup of coffee, but if a lot of people went together and for just $1 a day, we could make all of this happen. We could accommodate everything we need. And I believe that this literally has the potential of changing our culture. I believe that's how big it is. And if the Lord tarries, it's possible that this could make a difference even for generations to come. I don't know exactly where we're going with this, but I know it's going to be big. God has told me that. And I want to share this with you and just thank you for those of you who've been a part of this. And if your life has been touched, man, I rejoice over that. And I would like to encourage you to just join with me. And I'd challenge you to $1 a day. Just join with us and praise God together. We could see awesome things happen. So again, I'll be sharing more. I would like to encourage you to make sure you watch those broadcasts that air the week of June the 8th. Go to our website and check it out, but become a part of this. Don't just be an observer, but be a part of this miracle. You will be blessed.